Good evening. Cardinal Thomas Wolsey once said, "Be very, very careful what you put into that head because you'll never ever get it out." And thanks to the Think Network and the Merchant Hotel, I have about 14 minutes and 33 seconds to try. So I'll tell you a bit more about myself. My name's Jude Morrow. I'm a social worker, dad, and author from Derry, and I have autism. And the main kind of part of my talk tonight is, about what autism awareness is, resilience, and so on. Or most importantly, what autism isn't. So I had a very tough childhood. I didn't really communicate properly until I was maybe 5 or 6. And whenever I say at talks that I have autism, I absolutely love seeing all the faces thinking, "You autism, or is that not only for children? Since when do our autistic people 6'4" and have beards?" So it's kind of breaking down those barriers and misconceptions. I had assessments for special needs schools right the way up to, it was maybe 7 or 8, and then I went to secondary school and had classroom assistants right the way up until I was 18. I had a statement of special educational needs, having been diagnosed with Asperger's at 11. And I went to university and qualified as a social worker. I know, and that's the other strange thing as well, whenever people think of autism, the person with the most social difficulties ended up becoming a social worker, of all things, which I've been doing for the last 8 years, and fingers crossed, could be doing for many, many more years to come. And after university, I became a dad, and the coping mechanisms and resilience and strategies that I learned all the way through school were mostly about, having structure, routine, keeping my days the same. And whenever Ethan was born, with babies, babies aren't really big fans of routine. They get up at different times, they need their nappies changed at different times, and of course I couldn't really manage this very well. And whenever Ethan came to about 3, my mummy was babysitting him, Granny, who I have to say actually is the best granny in the world, because she hasn't tonight for me to come and speak to all of you. And he actually asked my mum, "Why does Daddy always look so sad?" That's what he asked, because the kind of anguish, why is every day not the same? I just couldn't cope with it. I couldn't manage it. And that particular question became the title of my Amazon best-selling book, which is soon to be published by Beyond Words Publishing. And after that was the kind of real kickstart for me. That was the, I need to go, I need to make changes, I need to make things happen. And I would love to say I had the moment of clarity and thought, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. I was dragged through it, kicking and screaming by my ma, do this, do that, and everybody around me, because it just came to a stage where I had alienated everybody. I just denied that I had autism, didn't like the label, didn't appreciate anything about it. And whenever I got to the other side, and then I compiled the book over a certain period of time, came out, became a bestseller, and it was then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my bit for autism awareness. I may as well. I'm a very proud autistic man, and I want the whole world to see it. And whenever it comes to resilience, was kind of the main part of resilience with tonight's event. I kind of thought about it before I came. What is resilience? Is it this mega elasticity of the human spirit? Is it? I don't know. And with resilience, it always has the same kind of certain format. It's per circumstances, overcoming those and reflecting on those. But is it enough? Is it enough to just have that own personal within yourself? But this is kind of the audience participation bit, okay? This is kind of the point, that I want to make. And whenever asked, just put your hands up nice and high, just so I can see them all, and even through the back as well. Does everybody know what autism is, specifically? Does everybody know? Anybody? Plenty of hands? Okay, that's the vast majority of people that have either heard of the term autism or know what it is. So I'm going to go through the specific kind of traits that would be most associated with autism. And again, a nice show of hands. Has anybody heard that with autism it comes down to per eye contact as a trait or symptom of it? Anybody? Yep, that's most people. And I'm just getting a look around now. I'm looking at plenty of you in the eye. I mean, because with correlation, it doesn't imply causality in any way, wherein not everybody who has difficulties with making eye contact is autistic, or neither does every autistic person have difficulty making eye contact. The second one would be hyper-focus. Has anybody heard that? Like if it's just obsessional behaviour, one, real determined, just again, a nice show of hands, again, I'm seeing nods and smiles and all of that, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And, I mean, whenever you look around at all the symptoms and traits of autism, it's hard to be resilient from those things, because, they're quite negative, aren't they? They really are quite, they're quite difficult things, but, again, for the next two, associations with autism, is just a show of hands for people that know that autism is closely related to high IQ. High IQ, again, that's everybody. And again, would be, quite, emotional, very emotional people. It's not always like flat. I mean, what I want to ask is really, is a lack of empathy something that you feel is associated with autism? A lack of empathy. Again, if you look around in all the, the major websites and stuff, they do say that. So, does that mean, by virtue, if I'm walking in town and see someone hit by a bus, I'm just going to walk on past? Is that what that means? Is that, am I a monster? Am I a robot? Again, something I can't really wrap my head around. I would say personally, I would have a lot of emotional difficulties. The way I see it is like a garden hose, like a blockage in the hose, goes from source to out the end of the hose. If there's a blockage or a kink in the hose, eventually it just bursts. And a lot of the time it has a more negative connotation than a positive one. And, whenever I had said, about autism and high IQ, I mean, I was asking you to put your hands up, right? And everybody ate out of my hand. I just mentioned a whole pile of negative things about autism. And I went like this, and everybody said, oh, hi, absolutely, absolutely. Because autism really, when you think about it, is a gift. It's high IQ, it's, people perceive things as sensory issues or as if these things are mostly negative. And really they aren't. I mean, what my kind of mission in life is to kind of change the overall attitude to autism and what it can mean for people. Because whenever people ask, what can I do for places to be more autism friendly, and what can I do to help autistic people, and the one answer I give, and it's every single time, it's change your attitude. I mean, even looking at these leaflets that were put on the table. I mean, autism is a lifelong disability is the first 4 letters that I saw on it. I mean, I don't see myself as having a disability whatsoever. If anything, I see myself as quite lucky and gifted. With autism, to a certain extent, I think we're the enlightened ones. I mean, we have, a real true sense of what we can see, hear, communicate with, and so on. And I suppose, coming back to, the resilience part of it, me coming along and speaking with you and speaking about autism awareness or whatever it may be, raising awareness simply isn't enough. I mean, nobody will say to me, autism? Never heard of it. I mean, it's not as simple as that. You have to actually embrace it and know about it and go and, change the global attitude towards it. I think that's the most important thing to do. And to conclude, I think, moving forward with autism, especially in adults, I mean, whenever we go to bookshops or online to research anything about autism, it's nearly always about children. And so your childhood is a very, very small part, of your life as a whole. It's a very, very small part of it. And I will be autistic whenever I'm 70, 80 or 90 or however long I have left. And I'm happy with that. I mean, if someone offered me at this stage, I mean, it's autism was touted around as, like a disability or something that's almost a burden or to be ashamed of. But the truth is, if someone offers me now, would you like a cure for your autism now? I'd say, nah. And I don't think anybody, if they were asked who does have autism,
not a chance.
You wouldn't, no. If I said, take this tablet now and that's it, you're cured forever, would you take it? No, exactly. Nobody would take it. And I mean, it's funny, you know, to us, you know, man to man, autistic man to autistic man, you know, that almost as if we're, you know, like, you know, the disability thing. Do you find the same?
That's a gift.
Yeah.
Absolute gift.
Yeah, it is a gift. And I mean, and it's something to be cherished. And I want everybody in this room tonight to leave here thinking, you know, that autism is a gift. Yes, people do need support. People may perhaps were not as lucky as me to have the great support network that I had with my parents and friends and teachers and classroom assistants growing up. Not everybody had that, and I know I had it. And again, it is very easy to thank all the aforementioned people for making me the man I am today. But the people I really want to thank deep down are the playgroups that didn't want me, the schools that didn't think they could meet my needs, people who didn't want to associate with me, and as I would say to all of you, as I do to them from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.